Hey y'all, just wanted to check in real quick and remind you guys that I am doing confession videos next month. So if you want to send me your confessions, send it to nottoomuchthough.confessions@gmail.com. Nah, I couldn't even say that with a straight face. Anyway, yeah, send your confessions to nottoomuchthoughtconfessions@gmail.com. I'm not going to judge you. This is not a space for judgment. I'm not asking you to repent for nothing you did. I just want to read them and laugh with everyone else. I mean, if it's a funny matter, of course. Bro, if you want to tell me what you did, send your confessions to nottoomuchthoughtconfessions@gmail.com. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Liallure, and I'm back at it again with another video. If you're new to my channel, hey girl, hey, my name is Leah. I make videos, story time souls. I do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Something's like for the kids, you know the vibes. And for a returning subscriber, hey friend, how are you? I hope you're doing wonderful, fabulous, beautiful, amazing. Okay, happy Storytime Sunday. I'm back with another one. You already know the vibes. Grab your snacks, grab your drinks, grab whatever, girl, and just get seated, get comfortable. Child, if you watch my last story time, it's the same day. It's the literal same day. I'm still sick, so if you hear congestion in my voice, mind your business. The fact that I'm actually recording the story time and I don't feel well, I'm gonna need every single person watching this video right now to give me a huge thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed, subscribe, because you clicked on me for a reason. The story, it'll be entertaining. So yeah. Oh my. Bro, summer flus are the worst. I think that's exactly what's happening with me right now. I think I have a summer flu. LOL, JK, it was actually COVID. God. Tomatoes. Anyway, happy Storytime Sunday. Storytime Sunday, everybody's favorite day of the week. And I'm back with another one, you guys. Yet another one. Yes. They just keep coming. Yeah. So today's storytime is actually a storytime about the time that I was a little adventurous and I tried a treat. I'm going to be using code words in the story time because I do not condone this behavior. I do not condone trying what I tried. And I don't want anyone to think that I do, nor am I promoting it. It's an experience that I had and I thought that you guys would like to hear it. So here I am telling it, but I in no way, shape, or form condone this behavior. Thank you. You know, for the sake of the story, if like an employer or future employer, anybody's watching, this story is 100% false. I am lying. I'm lying my ass off. To be honest, I don't remember when the story takes place. It happened obviously pre-pandemic, but I couldn't pinpoint what year it happened. It could have happened in 2018, could have happened in 2017. I have honestly no clue. So there's that. Another point, the story does involve Dwayne. If you're not new here, you know who Dwayne is. And if you are new here, it's not really important for you to watch the other story times with him, but if you want to, those are in my description box. One day in the summer, I remember specifically this was the summer because it was hot, and also the events that took place later on in the story, it was obviously summertime. So it was in the summer and I was at home. It was definitely a Sunday. I know it was Sunday because everybody in my house was at home. Everybody in my house was at home, and for some reason, I got into it with someone in my house. I don't know who it was, but I got into it with someone, and I was pissed off. I was livid about the situation. I don't know what this argument was, but it really took me there. It took me there to the point where I was over there texting Dwayne, like literally just like furiously texting him, like I hate these niggas in my text messages, right? And I'm texting him and I'm telling him how pissed off I was about everything that was going on. And I was telling him that I needed to get out the house. One thing about me, when I'm pissed off, when I'm stressed out, I need to leave the environment that I'm currently in. The environment that made me pissed off, I need to leave it. I need to take a break. I need to gather my thoughts. I need to get it together. So I was like, I need to go somewhere. Like, do you have plans for today? Like, I need to leave. Now, in past story times, I told you guys that Dwayne was a shitty boyfriend and is and was, period. But he would have his moments where he was actually really nice and actually thoughtful to some degree. And so when I told him that I was pissed off and I needed to get out the house, he was like,
you know what, I'm off today, I'm not doing anything, I'm gonna come pick you up and I'm gonna take you somewhere.
I was asking him like where he's gonna take me, but he was like, don't worry about it, like we're gonna have fun, it's all good. For some stupid and egregious reason, I just trusted Dwayne, even though I shouldn't have, based on his very, very, very bad track record with me and other women, I trusted him still. So I was like, okay, cool. So I got dressed in something casual. I put on some shorts, I put on a graphic tee, I put on my Vans, most likely my Vans. I grabbed my things and then I left the house. Dwayne pulls up, his car pulls up, I get in, we hug each other, whatever, and I start going off again. If you're anything like me, if I'm mad, I could be mad for a few hours. Like, my anger just doesn't vanish. It does not. I wish I was that girl. I am not that girl. No. So I'm like talking to him and I'm like telling him everything that's going on, how pissed off I am about stuff like that. He's listening to me. He's like letting me vent. And then when I was all done, he was like, you know what, don't worry about that. You know how your family could be. Let it go. Don't let it stress you out too much. We're gonna have fun today. So I'm like, okay. Again, I asked him, where are we going? He tells me, don't worry about it. We're gonna have fun. Okay, magic school bus, sure. So we're in a car, we're vibing, we're listening to music, and we're kind of like riding down, I think it was a highway. So we're driving down a path or whatever, and I noticed that we're going to like South Brooklyn. So I'm like, what? Where are we going? I started looking at the signs or whatever, and I noticed that we're going to Coney Island. If you're not from New York and if you're not from Brooklyn, Coney Island is an amusement park. It's actually a very famous amusement park in the United States. It's home of like Nathan's hot dogs and burgers. It's home of like the hot dog eating contest every 4th of July. That's Coney Island. Coney Island is very ghetto, very, very ghetto, and I'm not gonna cap to you. I'm not gonna cap to you. It's ghetto. But some of my earliest memories being in America are tied to Coney Island. If you didn't know, I'm not born here. I'm a US citizen, but I'm not born here. And so when I came here when I was 6, one of my first memories being in the summer was going to Coney Island with my parents and just like being around other kids and eating cotton candy and seeing the Ferris wheels and the roller coasters and stuff like that. All the stuff that we don't have in St. Lucia, like that's one of my first memories of being in America. So I tie very good thoughts and positive feelings to Coney Island. With that being said, sometimes when I'm upset, I like to go there. I don't get into water because to be honest with you, if you ever step in a Coney Island water, you never had to worry about COVID. You don't have to worry about any disease that comes up, mumps, measles, none of that shit. You are immune. The water in the Coney Island water is radioactive. So yeah. But I enjoy the rides. I enjoy the space. I like fairs and amusements and stuff like that. So he knew to take me to Coney Island because he knew that's one of my happy places in New York. So we pull up to Coney Island and we park near the Nathans, right? We parked at the big parking lot near the Nathans. So as we're parking or whatever, he's like, what do you want to do? So I'm like, we could walk around, like we'll go on some rides or whatever. So he's like, no problem. We get out the car, I grab my things, and we start walking. We went on a few different rides. I think we went on the little like it's called a Thunderbolt. Or was it the pen? No. It's called a Polar Express. After that, we went on the ride across from it, which was like a haunted roller coaster type of situation. It was just one of those scary rides, you know what I mean? So after we got off the Wonder Wheel or whatever, we start walking back and we get back to the car in the parking lot. I sit down and we're listening to music. I remember we were listening to like a Caribbean radio station because that's my shit. So we get in the car, we're listening to music, whatever, and he's like,
you want to try something?
Well,
try what exactly? So he's like,
you want to try something?
Yes or no? I'm like, I am not gonna answer that question until you tell me what it is that I'm trying. So he's like,
okay, no problem.
Dwayne at the time was experimenting with being a street pharmacist. If you don't know, you don't know. I'm not gonna say it and get flagged. No ma'am. But more specifically, he was experimenting with being a street pharmacy chef, okay? So Dwayne was making treats. He was making treats, and I feel like a lot of them he tried on himself, but he also tried on his friends as well. He never tried them on me because I don't do stuff like that. I have done parsley. I've done parsley in my past, but I'm not that girl. Like, I don't do stuff like that. I still don't to this day, honestly. Maybe once every 5 years, but I don't do stuff like that. Like, that's just not me. So anyway, with that being said, Dwayne was like, you want to try it? And I'm like, no, I don't actually. I'm good. You know I'm good. Like, I don't do that. So he was like,
oh, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I made it. It's not even that strong. I try these all the time.
Well, if you try them all the time, that means that you have a high tolerance for it. I've never tried that before. I'm not gonna do that to myself. So he's insisting that I try it. He's like,
it's fine. Don't worry about it. I got you. I know how you are. I would never put you in danger.
Yeah, it's not true, but okay. Sure, yeah. So I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. I keep saying no, and he's like fighting me on it. He's like, just do it. Eventually, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll do it. If you are watching this and you are underage, you are whoever, don't ever let nobody peer pressure you into doing nothing, okay? At that point, I just wanted Dwayne to shut up, and so that's why I tried it. But never let anybody peer pressure you into trying something you don't want to try, especially if it's something that's like parsley. So I finally tried a piece, and he's like, all you gotta do is take a little bit of a piece. It was a Rice Krispie, and I remember that very specifically. It was a Rice Krispie like this big. So he gives me the Rice Krispie. He says,
just take a fourth of it.
all right, cool. I bite a fourth of it. So I'm like, when is it supposed to do something? He was like,
It's different for everyone. It kicks in when it kicks in.
So I'm like, okay, no problem. I sit there for 10 minutes. We're talking. We're listening to the radio. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I'm like, you're really bad at this because nothing's happening to me. He's like, you don't feel different? No, I feel the same. He's like,
you don't feel more relaxed? You don't feel like you just want to laugh?
No. So he's like,
okay, maybe you just need to wait a little bit longer.
So I'm like, cool. At this point, it's been 30 minutes and nothing has happened. So I'm like, I'm gonna try another piece because this is some ass treats, okay? So he's like,
I don't think you should do that.
I'm like, why not? Because clearly whatever you put in the first round wasn't working. So something gotta give, okay? So I take another piece and I'm waiting 10 minutes. I'm waiting 15 minutes once again. When 25 minutes came in that second bite, shit got crazy. Shit got crazy. Shit got crazy. Girl. So as the 25 minutes is approaching or whatever, all of a sudden I just start laughing. I really don't even know what I'm laughing at. Like, I just start laughing. So he's like,
what's wrong?
And I'm like, I don't know. Like, it's funny. He's like,
what's funny?
Like, I'm like, I don't know. Like, it's just funny. So I'm over there hysterically laughing and he's smiling because he realizes that it finally kicked in. So he says to me,
also, it finally kicked in.
And I'm like, yeah, I guess so. So we're laughing with each other or whatever. I'm listening to the radio. He's like,
I want to take some.
I said, hell no. No, immediately no, you can't take any. Bro, this is my first time on something like that. You're driving the car. I don't know how to drive. We can't both be in an altered mind state. You cannot take anything. You cannot have any fun. So after talking to him about this for like 5 minutes, I'm like, you have to promise me you will not take a piece of this because you gotta get me home. Don't do that. So he's like, okay, fine, I guess. So it's just me on this now. And so I'm laughing, I'm giggling, whatever. I'm like dancing to the music. Finally, he's like, do you want to step outside? So I'm like, okay, sure, that's fine. We step outside and we start walking towards the water. As we start walking, I start to feel like my legs get wobbly and I'm like, oh my God, I can't stand still, whatever. Dickhead. So I'm walking and we get to the beach area and it's pretty dark at this point. It's like very, very dark, pitch black outside. So I'm looking out into the distance in the water and I'm like, oh my God, there's a Navy ship approaching us. What?
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
He's like,
what are you talking about?
I was like, there's a Navy ship approaching us. You don't see it? It's like a battleship. Like, it's mad big. I was like, you know, a battleship, like the movie Rihanna was on, it's like that. It's like mad big. And I was just running my mouth. I was like, you know what's funny? She was in a movie called Battleship and her fans are called the Navy. Like, her mind. And he's just looking at me like, bro, what is this girl talking about? Like, what are you talking about? So he's like,
do you want to go near the water?
And I'm like, no, because I can't swim. And if my feet touch the water, I'm going to drown. Bro, what are you talking about, man? Like, he's like, okay, yeah, sure. So after that, I'm like, I don't want to be near the water anymore. So I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to be around the water anymore. So he's like, let's go. Let's take a walk. We start taking a walk or whatever. And at this point, it's dark, but the park doesn't close until pretty late. So there's still people there. We're walking. And he's like,
are you hungry?
I wasn't hungry before he said that. As he's saying this to me, I realize, hey, I guess I am hungry. We go to Popeyes, and as we're walking, I'm like starting to feel tired and just slow and just like, you know? So we get in and I'm like, I don't feel well. So he was like,
just sit down.
I sit down in the booth. He gets on the line and he's ordering my 2-piece. I'm sitting in a booth, but I'm looking out the window. It's like these big bay windows in the Popeyes. So like I'm looking in the window, but I'm kind of staring aimlessly. Like I'm not really staring at anything or anyone. I'm just staring with like a really blank stare. If you've never met me, my resting face is kind of like this. Yeah, that's just what I look like on a normal basis. Like, that's just my face. So I was just staring out the window like that. Apparently, when Dwayne came back, he was like,
yo, why are you staring at her like that?
I'm like, staring at who like that? What are you talking about? He's like,
why are you staring at that little girl like that? You grilling the hell out of her.
I'm like, what little girl? What are you talking about? So I look back at the window and it's a little girl standing there. This little girl is waving at me the whole time. Like, she was waving at me. According to him, she was waving at me. She was smiling at me. And I was just grilling her. Like, really just giving her a death stare. I was like, Oh my God, I was mean to her. I didn't mean to be mean to her. That's not nice. Wow. I always try to be nice to little black girls because I want to let them know that they're loved and that they're beautiful. We should go find her. We should go find her so I could say sorry. He's like, bro. No. So he sits down next to me, across from me or whatever in this booth, and he hands me my food. It's 2 pieces of biscuit, some fries, and it's a strawberry Fanta. That's what I get at Popeyes. So I'm sitting down, I'm eating my chicken, and I'm like slowly eating it because everything is moving in slow motion. I eat the biscuit. Y'all know how people say Popeye's biscuits are criminally dry? I had never really had that feeling until that night. I bit into this biscuit and it literally felt like I bit into dust. It felt like I was gonna open my mouth and it was gonna go poof. Like, that's exactly what it felt like. I was like, oh my God, this biscuit is so dry. He's like,
relax, first of all, you're making a scene.
And I was like, no, this biscuit is so dry. What the is this old? Like, what is this? So he's like, oh my God. So he takes the food away from me. I finish my chicken and we start leaving. We start walking towards, like, if you've ever been to Coney Island, there's like these vendors that sell just random food. So they sell like hot dogs and stuff like that, obviously, but some of them sell like they sell cotton candy and they sell like candy apples. I had never had a candy apple at that point, but I wanted one. So I was like, I want a candy apple. I want a candy apple. He's like, you don't want a candy apple. You don't need a candy apple. You're not gonna eat it. So I'm like, we walk back to the car. And this is when shit took another left. We get into the car and I'm sitting in the back seat kind of, and I'm like laying down by myself. I'm just like laying down. I got my foot kind of like on his car wall and he's just sitting in the front seat. So he's like,
how are you feeling?
And I'm like, I'm okay, I guess. As soon as I sat up, everything got bad. It's like my entire mental state was like completely negative. Like, I was not happy. I was not laughing anymore. My anxiety just kept increasing. Like, my heart was beating mad fast. And I became so aware of my heartbeat. It's kind of like my heart was beating directly into my ear. It was not a good feeling immediately. So I'm like, Dwayne, I don't feel good. So he's like,
what's going on?
I explain what's happening to him and he's like,
you're okay. You're just experiencing it for a little bit. Things are gonna get happy again.
And so I'm like, okay. And so I'm like sitting there or whatever, and my mind is just like, something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong. Like, I'm really going at it in my head with myself. So he says, he's like, bro, you good? You good? And I'm like, no, I'm not okay. How long is this supposed to last? You know when someone is going through something and they're not feeling well? Like, if somebody says to you, oh, how long is this supposed to last? Or if somebody gets on planes and they ask the hostess, like, what are the chances that this plane is gonna crash? Nobody's gonna tell you, oh, the chances are 75%. You know what I mean? That's not the truth, but like, no one's gonna give you an answer that's going to scare the living shit out of you. You know what I mean? Even if that answer is true or false, no one's gonna give you an answer that's gonna scare the hell out of you. They're gonna tell you what makes you feel calm. When patients go to the doctor and it seems like something scary is happening to their body, the doctor says, don't worry, we're gonna do our best to try to find out what's happening and we're gonna take good care of you. That's how you're supposed to talk to people who are having an anxiety and panic attack. Apparently nobody ever told this fucking Dwayne this. Apparently no one ever told him. Girl. So I'm telling Dwayne, like, can you please find out how long this is gonna last? Like, how long does it normally last you? So he's like,
well, for me, it typically lasts me like 4 or 5 hours and then that's it. But I have been doing this for a while, so it might be worse for you.
Why would you tell somebody that? Why would you do that? So he's like,
oh, well, I don't know, I'm gonna find out.
So he Googles the information and it says that it's gonna last anywhere from 8 to 10 hours.
The nigga was too stunned to speak.
Why would you tell me that? Like, he told me the worst thing possible to tell me. He should have told me, like, it's only gonna take 2 more hours, you're gonna be okay. Because my brain was already altered. It would have believed it. It completely would have believed it. You know what was also driving me up the wall too? The fact that I have a neuroscience degree and I take a lot of classes that talk about drugs. And so when he was telling me this, like, I was already like actively going through what was happening in my brain. Like, literally going through the chemical processes and all of that. Like, it was not me just riding the wave. Like, it literally was my brain saying, okay, this is happening. Now this is happening. Now this is happening. Now this is happening. And literally all that's happening is your brain cells transferring the information and it's not going back up, so it's not gonna let this stop happening. At this point, I just start hyperventilating and I'm like, I'm going down. I'm going down. Like, this is not gonna get any better. So he's trying to relax me. He's trying to calm me down. It's not happening. He was supposed to go somewhere later on that night. He did tell me. He had started this new job, maybe about like 4 weeks ago, a month ago, and he had made friends there. He was also going to the gym a lot with them to play basketball. So that night was one of the nights that he was supposed to go play basketball with these people. And he had told me that in advance. But obviously he did not know I was gonna react like this. So he was like,
hold on a second, I'm gonna call my coworkers and tell them that I cannot come out tonight or I might be late to play ball.
So mind you, at this point it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock, something like that. And they usually go play ball like stupid late, like 11:30. So he's like calling his coworker or whatever, and one of them gets on the phone. We don't have to name these people at all, but one of them gets on the phone and he's like, yo bro, where you at? He was like,
I'm still outside, like what y'all trying to do?
So the guy on the phone is like, yeah, we still at work right now, but we gonna get out in like 15 minutes, in like 20 minutes. I'm gonna head home, I'm gonna change, and we gonna come link you so we could go play ball. So Dwayne gets on the phone and he's like,
bro, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to come play ball with y'all.
So his friend is like, why? What happened, bro? Like, you knew we were supposed to come play. What happened? Like, what's going on? So he's like,
I'm with my girl right now and she is bugging out. Like, she's bugging. I gave her a treat and she's wilding.
So he's like, the guy on the phone was like, you got a girlfriend? Now, you tell me why they don't know he got a girlfriend. Because although a lot of people are like very secretive and they keep like work and personal separate, and I'm one of those people, Dwayne was not one of those people. When he made friends, he told his friends everything. So the fact of the matter is, why they don't know you got a girlfriend? So he's like, yo bro, you had a girlfriend? When you was gonna tell me you had a girlfriend? And Dwayne is like,
mind your business, that's not the point. The point is I'm probably not gonna be there.
So then the nigga on the phone, he turns to another coworker and he's like, yo bro, you know Dwayne had a girlfriend? Dwayne had a girlfriend this whole time, bro. He had a whole girlfriend this whole time. So the nigga on the phone is like, what? Nigga got a girlfriend? He don't act like he got a girlfriend. Wait a minute. What was that? Huh? So he's like, yeah, bro, he don't act like he got a girlfriend. So then after that, the nigga's like, yo, that's crazy. My son got a whole girl. So Dwayne this whole time is like trying to get them to shut up. He's like,
yo, bro, shut up. Like, you play too much.
Whatever. And I'm listening to this conversation and I'm not saying anything. Even though I'm going through what I'm going through in my head, I'm not stupid. So I'm very aware of this conversation that's happening. So now after Dwayne, is telling them to be quiet or whatever, and old boy is like, I didn't know you had a girl, all of a sudden you got a girlfriend, like this is interesting. Old boy on the phone, the first one, he's like, you want to talk to Ashley? And that's what this girl's name was. It was Ashley. This is not a code word. Her name was Ashley, and I remember this very specifically. He was like, do you want to talk to Ashley? So Dwayne is like,
no, why would I want to talk to Ashley? Why would I? Bro, you play too much, man. Why would I want to talk to Ashley?
Wait a damn minute. Wait a damn.
So I'm piping up in the back and I'm like, well, who the is Ashley? Because somebody that you don't care for, like a coworker you don't care for, you would not react in that way. You know what I mean? There's plenty of coworkers that I had while I worked at H&M that I do not care for. But if somebody said, do you want to talk to them? I'd be like, yo, you play too much. And then I would just continue my conversation. The way he was acting was like, there was a reason he really didn't want to talk to Ashley. More importantly, he didn't want to talk to Ashley in front of me. So I'm like, who the is Ashley? You not gonna tell me who Ashley is? Who is Ashley? So he turns back to me and this man starts to gaslight me. He's like,
you're wilding right now. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Nobody ever said anything about Ashley. You're just delusional.
So you're using the fact that I'm on this treat as an excuse to tell me that I'm not hearing what I know I'm hearing? Okay. So then the guy on the phone is like, you want to talk to Ashley? She right here. He was like, yo, Ashley. He calls Ashley. As soon as Dwayne hears him call Ashley, click, he hangs up the phone.
That's suspicious.
Now you tell me why he hung up the phone so fast. What are you hiding, bro? What are you hiding? There's nothing anyone could tell me in these comments that would make me feel like Ashley was just a friend that he was talking to. None of y'all could tell me that shit and I would believe it, because it's simply not true. It's simply not true. So, you know, he hangs up the phone and I'm blacking on him. I'm like, who the is Ashley and why you hung up the phone so fast? So he's trying to gaslight me, making me feel like because I'm on this treat, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm like, take me home. Take me home. Because mind you, this is not Dwayne's first time cheating on me. Not. So, I'm not stupid. I'm not an idiot. You do it once, you'll do it again. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, take me home right now. He's like,
you're not feeling well. You're not doing well. You want to go home and run into your family members and explain why you acting like this to them?
So I was like, don't worry about it. I'm good. Take me home. He decides to not take me home because he's like,
you don't want your family to see you like this. Like, you're gonna sit right here.
So like 30 minutes pass by, I'm not saying shit to him, and I'm like pissed off. So I decide to get on my phone and I decide to text my cousin. So I call him and I'm like, yo, is everybody asleep? So he's like, yeah, everybody's asleep. Why, what's up? So I'm like, I am a little. He's like, what? I was like, I'm a little. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, bro, I'm lying. He's like, what? Speak up. And I'm like, and he was like, and he just starts laughing because, like I told y'all, I don't do stuff like that. So the fact that I did it, like he was just like, why did you do that? Like, this is so hilarious. So he's like, what do you want me to do? So I'm like, just let me know when they all go to sleep so I could come home. So he tells me when they all go to sleep, and I'm like, all right, Dwayne is gonna drop me off home. Dwayne gets in the car, whatever. Well, we're already in the car, but so I get in the front seat, I get in the passenger seat, and he's like, I'm gonna take you home. So I'm like, okay. Now the window was rolled down a little bit so I could get some air because I started to feel nauseous. We start driving and we're on the same highway, expressway, whatever that it took for us to get to Coney Island. This is not a different path. As he's driving, I start to get increasingly paranoid, and I'm like, he's not taking me home. He's not taking me home. He's not going to Brooklyn. This man is taking me to the Bronx. He's going to link up with his friends and they're going to sell me. Wow. Why would I think this nigga's gonna sell me? So he's like,
why are you looking like that?
And I'm like, where are you taking me? He's like,
home. I'm taking you home. I told you I was taking you home.
I was like, no, you're not. Yes, I am. I'm taking you home. I was like, no, you're not. So why are you taking me to the Bronx? He was like,
I'm not taking you to the. Why would I take you to the Bronx? Why would I take you to the Bronx?
I was like, I don't know. You acting real suspicious right now, and I don't think that this is the same way you took to take me home. So I think you taking me to the Bronx. He was like, bro, no, I am not. Like, no, I am not. At this point, I'm convinced that this man is trying to take me to the Bronx and he's trying to sell me, and I'm never gonna see my mama ever again. So he's like trying to reassure me. He's like,
bro, I'm not taking you to the Bronx. I'm trying to take you home. Like, I'm really trying to take you home.
Once again, I'm not believing you because you are a liar. You've been a liar. You are a liar again tonight with this girl, Ashley. I just don't believe you. So he's like,
I'm not taking you to the Bronx, bro. I'm not taking you to the Bronx.
Like, he's really trying to tell me this. I didn't believe this man to the point, like, oh my God. There was a point where I just looked him in his eye and my mind just kept playing out the scenario that was gonna happen. My mind just kept telling me that when he takes me to the Bronx, it's gonna be a big man there. He's gonna take me, he's gonna put me in the back of his car, and he gonna go away with me. That's what I'm really thinking in my head. So what do? What do y'all think I did? We are speeding down the highway. I grabbed the door handle and I try to open that shit and tuck and roll.
Oh my God!
Girl. This... Now, he definitely saw me try to grab the handle of the car and unbuckle my seatbelt, so he like yanked my hand back so I wouldn't do that. But literally, if he was like a few seconds off, I would have tucked and rolled down that damn highway. Like, I really was convinced that he was trying to put me in harm's way, so I was trying to get out of there as fast as possible. And so he was like yelling at me. He was like,
why would you do that? Why would you do that? I'm not taking you to the Bronx, bro. I'm not taking you to the Bronx. You're gonna be fine. You're almost home. Relax.
Like, he just kept yelling at me, and I'm like, whatever. Like, bro. So I finally get home, and he didn't want to, and he never did want to walk me to my door, but he actually walked me to my door this time. He brought me to my apartment. My cousin opened the door, and then I walked in and I went to sleep. Yeah, I went to sleep. That was the end of that, really. When I woke up the next morning, I was completely fine, but that night was just so crazy to me, and it really just solidified in my mind to never ever do anything like that again. Like, never do it. And when I tell you, I stuck by my word and I never did anything like that again. Never. One and done. I packed it up. And this is not to say, like, if you do stuff like that, there's something wrong with you or you're making the bad decisions in life. That's not to say that at all. It's not for everybody, and it's certainly not for me. So yeah, that's the end of my story. If you like the story, make sure you like, comment, subscribe and join the gang, because you're watching this whole video, you might as well stick around. Don't forget to follow me on all my socials. That is in the outro and also in the description box down below. Call me, beat me if you wanna reach me. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.
Shout out to everybody. I had fun.